What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages, Joker back again, once again, and today, people, earlier this morning, Bungie released a teaser for the Witch Queen. And since there's nothing else within the Destiny community that requires my attention, I figured, I would give it a bit of a breakdown. Ride that gravy train of easy to make content like everyone. Provide my entirely unique opinion that is clearly more valuable than everybody else's on the subject matter. But unlike other creators, I will have two trailer breakdown discussions. This one, a non-spoiler breakdown, where I talk about things only presented in the trailer, and then sometime later this week, a spoiler discussion where I talk about things in this trailer and the live-action trailer that released some time ago in the context of the Witch Queen leaks. Now, as customary for these sorts of trailer breakdown videos, and not to totally pad out the runtime like everybody else, I'll play the teaser for anybody who hasn't somehow already seen it. Totally because every video is somebody's first. Don't worry if you've already seen it, there should be a timestamp on the screen right about maybe now.
Guardian, do you read me?
We're here, Ikora. What is this place?
We're in the domain of the god of cunning. Things are never what they seem. Be careful.
Tell me, O honored guest. Don't you want to escape? This throne world is indistinguishable from my own mind, Guardian. Every step taken, every bullet fired, I keep and count them all. It's not too late to turn around.
So this teaser opens with this view of a pyramid ship in the swamps of Old Shakai, the swamps of Savathun's throne world. Guardians are pondering this taken orb of energy among some ruins in a very cinematic, made-for-trailers way that no group of Guardians, unless they're RPing, would ever do. Do people RP in Destiny?
Guardian, do you read me?
Ikora comes over the comms, but I'm thinking this is a little bit of movie magic and not from this moment, as the Guardians are already in Savathun's throne world, and we already likely know where this part comes from, when you're actually entering Savathun's throne world for the first time, as seen in the live-action trailer. The next minute shows a transition. Apparently the Guardian pondered the orb a little too much. The location that we're transported to, it's all very Hive and Dreadnought-esque, and you can even see a regional chest. We then get a montage of locations, a broken wall, reminiscent of the broken wall from Rise of Iron. An inner chamber, reminiscent of, well, basically every Hive inner chamber ever? But this time, it's all white and ivory, a stark juxtaposition to the green, dark, desolate swamps. Then there's a round Hive tunnel filled with what looks like the same flowers that bloom in the Black Garden, and then a gate to exit the asylum where Our Lady of Sin awaits. Wait, wrong game. Unless...
Listen well, boy, there are two bells to ring. The parish above, the bloody bog found deep below.
We then see our intrepid and get this sweet view of more Hive architecture. Not really sure what I expected. Guardians then enter this space that for some reason reminds me of this space on the Dreadnought. But unlike this space on the Dreadnought, this space has the spooky. Dun dun dun! Very spooky, much scare, such mood. Terrible jokes aside, now we know from moments later in the trailer that there will be a bunch of the inevitable copy and paste invisible puzzle platforms. My gut instinct is telling me that this is just part of one of the missions, and it's a spooky set piece and they zoomed in on it to highlight the spook, and really all this does is lead you down a corridor of frights and delights on your way to the Wicked Witch of the Lights. However, a part of me hopes that this is maybe, just maybe, part of a super overly complicated puzzle that everybody will inevitably have figured out by the end of the weekend, and everybody will have videos about it, including me, and people will lose interest when they find out it only leads to 2 tokens and a blue and some crafting materials, and you know exactly what happened to the Dreadnought and the Dreaming City and all of their mysteries. But moving forward, we come to what is quite possibly the most interesting part of this teaser, at least for me. Now, this probably means nothing, or it is quite possibly the single most important clue that we need to overanalyze to break open the mystery that is Witch Queen. No, better yet, the single and final clue that we need to break open the entirety of Destiny lore. Dun dun dun. Lightning crackle, lightning crackle, lightning crackle. Either that or it means absolutely nothing and it's just a cool statue Savathun has of her brother and king killing Akka. But you'll note that our boy Oryx here has wings. Why does Oryx have wings? Oryx wasn't even Oryx at this point in the lore. This confrontation with Akka happened in verse 3:8, King of Shapes. Oryx doesn't grow wings until verse 4:8, the Partition of Death. Very interesting. And it's not something you can glance over, it's pretty matter of fact. It's the first sentence of the book. One day, Oryx decided to grow new wings. You know, as you do. And perhaps I'm being a lore nerd and looking far too into it, but the lore card where Oryx grows his wings is kinda really important. You know, like Oryx traveling to observe the deep destroy an ancient fortress world. After watching his daughters come up with the Oversoul after killing themselves a bunch of times, but details, and telling Crota, hey, you can learn something from your sisters. And then he's like, yes, I will cut into space and time and experiment with wounds in reality. This just so happened to lead to the Vex invading Oryx's throne world. Oh, silly me, I almost forgot. The place was recommended to him, suggested one might say, by none other than Savathun. This is well after Oryx kills Akka in King of Shapes, and is given the power to take. However, in the lore card Dreadnought, verse 4:11, we're told by Savathun, doing her best impersonation of an Alpha Legionnaire, I am Alpharius, and this book is full of lies. So could be nothing. Could be the artist chose to depict this art rather than what actually happened. Oh, who could ever tell? However, if we take this trailer in universe and go by what the trailer tells us later,
This throne world is indistinguishable from my own mind, Guardian.
to account for the fact that Oryx looks like Oryx killing Akka, not Arash killing Akka, if that's even Akka. This statue could be one of the dragons and shut them in cells, or if we want to go 9 levels of probably not going to fucking happen, but hey, why not conspiracy theory? This could be a memorial to Oryx. How did Oryx die? Your gut reaction might tell you, yes, well, the Guardian killed him. But no, he was consumed by his own worm. So maybe this could be a statue to that. But moving forward, we then see a Titan popping a bubble, a Hunter casting Golden Gun, and a Warlock using trusty old Rift against a horde of thralls. But do not underestimate the thralls as Veltalo did. We then cut to a green screen of symbols that morph into explore Savathun's throne world. And that combination of numbers and letters isn't just there to look pretty. It is the electron configuration for the element of osmium. And not only is osmium the densest naturally occurring element according to the internet, but Oryx, Savathun, and Ziva Arath are of the osmium line of kings. I also find it funny that osmium is a dense element, and the Hive are pretty freaking dense. More landscapes. But one of these things is not like the other. I'm of course talking about what looks like it's going to be the inside of a pyramid ship. This area reminiscent of the location where we get weapon crafting, but it's not actually the same area, at least not the parts we've seen. So this could be the entrance to that place, this could just be something for a mission, hell, this could be the entrance to the raid for all we know. But I'm glad to see that not everything is swamps and Hive ruins. You know, because if you're going to have barren landscapes, you might as well at least diversify them. More white on green text with our osmium formula. This leads to Bungie's famed use X mechanic to uncover hidden pathways. We then cut to a knight who's going into super, and it's the Void Sentinel Shield Knight Edition. Oh hey, another chemical formula. According to Google, chlorine. The Titan then throws down his shield, summoning a towering barricade to block the incoming projectile super shield throw. This is likely tied to the new aspect and fragment systems coming to the Void subclasses with the release of Witch Queen. The new Titan barricade will offer an overshield if I recall, and so Bungie probably balanced that with this overly elaborate animation. Savathun materializes before us, and our intrepid heroes suddenly can't stand. It's probably that stank. She probably doesn't smell too good. I'm sure we'll get over it before the end of the story. Savathun then summons 2 copies of herself, which is kind of fitting in my opinion, and very reminiscent of Osiris, who you may recall she inhabited his body. We then transition through the gates of the castle once more, where Our Lady of Sin awaits. God damn it, wrong game again.
I will walk through the fog as I welcome death.
We have yet another montage of scenery, a promise of places to go, before we get to this pier that stretches outwards to what looks like a shard of the Traveler? And Savathun gazing down upon all of her creation like a god knowing. The trailer then cuts to 3 guardians escorting a pyramid rover thing through the swamp? No clue what that is, but it would be interesting to see if it was tied to a public event. Some kind of weird Overwatch-esque escort mission. Then we cut to a fallen knight and a damaged hive ghost. More scenery. And then we see the Scorn, who, after being evicted from the Tangled Shore, have taken up residency in Savathun's throne world. Probably working with Zivo Wrath and the One Above All, the One Below All, the One Who Watches from the Dark, the Voice in the Dark? The Witness, that's right. Doesn't matter. They're just a big bad evil that we're going to kill in a few years anyways, so details. More landscapes. Guardians run through it to find Hive Guardians popping their supers, including Savathun, who is casting Nova Bomb. I think I now know why the Void subclasses got the rework first. Actually, scratch that. Savathun has 3 clones, so she'll probably use all 3 supers throughout the game. I think it would be funny though if this was some more movie magic, some clever camera work, and Savathun was fighting the Scorn or someone else, maybe He Who Shall Not Be Named's forces. And she's casting Nova Bomb at them, not us. The teaser ends and we get the name of the new exotic SMG, Osteo Striga. Osteo from the Greek word meaning ostion, which would be an amazing name for a ghost type EV evolution. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And the word Striga, which many people will know from The Witcher, but is actually a plant commonly known as witchweed, which is apparently a parasitic plant. They require a living host for germination and initial deployment. But yes, you've probably all just heard the word Striga from The Witcher, either the games or the TV show, and it's kinda sort of like a demon that's somewhat similar to a vampire. Given the context of a gun whose name roughly translates to Bone Witch, and all the implications of the lore going into that, the weapon is probably some kind of, if I had to guess, health siphoning weapon. The barrel's also fairly unusual, looking kind of like a minigun, so maybe it needs to spin up to be most effective. Probably to balance its health siphoning abilities in PvP. And that's it for the trailer. What can I say? Bungie knows how to make one hell of a teaser. After all, they are masters of marketing. But will the game live up to the hype? Who knows? Only time will tell. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. But above all else, stay frosty.